My name is Biruk Solomon. I'm a fifth year software engineering student in A2SView University in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. And I am a former intern, primarily at Google and then afterwards at LinkedIn. And I've gotten both opportunities through A2SView. And yeah, that's a brief summary for me so far. I joined A2SView when I was in second year, so now in fifth year, around 3 years ago, when it first founded, along with the first cohort of students that they had. And we were selected from second, third, and fourth year. So most of the other cohort has left for different jobs in different companies abroad. So one of the few holdouts left. So I'd say a lot of positive effects over time. I think the first one was a general passion for what I want out of software engineering, the types of problems that I wanted to solve, like the hard technical problems as well as problems that impact the society. I felt like A2SV's mission since I joined aligned with that strongly, and over time I saw fruits of that confirmed that. So that was very interesting to see. I was also able to work on mentoring and educating some of the later groups that joined, and I also had a lot of fulfillment working with them and seeing their progress over time. I think in that aspect it made me grow to be a better person and a better software developer for sure, because I've had the opportunity to work with different companies and that obviously expands your skill sets. And on top of that, just the education and the quality that A2SView strives for in its teachings and in its students by extension. Those were excellent standards to hold myself against, and I'm grateful for that. I think it would be difficult to single out something as the best and also find the worst aspects, because we try to look at the positive things whenever. I'll try for the worst. I think we had a few brutally honest sessions where we as students tried to see ways that we can improve A2SView, but in terms of constructive criticism that's founded on reality and could be harsh, but it was necessary at the time. So we had a couple of those over time. Some of them I remember pushing for because they were essential in building what A2SView has now become. And I wouldn't say those are the worst, but right before those moments, right before the brutally honest sessions, I'd say that was the times where we could have used the most improvement. And yeah, I might put it like that. For the best of times, I'd say just outside of the small moments, which are a lot and they kind of add up to be something great, I'd say the hiking trips, especially as a bonding exercise with other teammates, as well as hiking in general, because we don't really do that normally in Addis Ababa. That was exciting. That was something new and something that I found a passion for, even when I left to the States and then to Germany to do internships. I found that passion for hiking kind of followed through. I would say there are a couple of things that goes into that. I'll speak from personal experience, so maybe different people might feel this differently, but for me it was having a direct impact on how I learn, or being given some sort of freedom to best approach a problem in terms of a technical problem, maybe a code problem we're working on, and then you have your own space to work on it, or being the problem of how do we get better as A2SView, or how do we help each other the most. We are given freedom to see the established process, to challenge it and change it. And I think that's what sets A2SView apart for me from like my normal education at Mosquito, where I feel like I have an active say in what my education looks like by the end of the day. I'm given the responsibility to know what works best for me and empowered to act on it and then make changes. I think since A2SView has grown over the years, that might have changed slightly as more systems get established, but that would still be a very big part of why A2SView is different from how we normally learn things, because in the end, I think most people would agree that these resources can be found online, but that collaborative spirit where each person feels responsible to making a positive impact on their own education and finding ways to improve it along the way for everyone else, that I would say is something very positive about A2SView as an experience. We can cross out the usuals. The food is great, the experience is awesome, the coworkers are really supportive, the work environment was very balanced, like you'd have very good work-life balance, and you're usually given tasks that have real impact in production, so people are actually going to use in the end. So that's extremely good. Outside of those, I'd say the other interns were definitely a huge aspect of what made the experience so much more. Getting to know people from across continents, across different parts of the world, and coming together and collaborating on these things is very, very unique. I really enjoyed that part. Also, I think seeing how things work, how code is produced and maintained and tested, obviously, in these over millions and billions of lines of code to produce functional systems in the end. It was very interesting, and it has a lot to take away from. Yeah, I'd say those are my main takeaways from those experiences. If there's anything specific, I can jump into that as well. If you couldn't tell, I'm dying to talk about the food. I'm sorry, we're gonna cut that. Shit. I'd say this is a bit cliche, but I would say don't give up, especially if this is something that you enjoy doing personally. For me personally, it's been technical problems, this sort of problem solving. This computer science, software engineering has been sort of a passion of mine. And if this is something that you're interested in, I'd say the bar is not so high that you should be intimidated by it and say, oh, this is not for me. If it's something you're genuinely interested in, I'd say put in the hours, put in the works, make sure that you enjoy the process of learning. Make sure you put yourself in that kind of position where you're enjoying growing, you're seeing the process and you're enjoying it as you go. I think it's only a matter of time. There are always circumstances that look to affect these outcomes negatively, but I'd say as long as you persevere, it's a matter of time instead of luck. And obviously, just keep enjoying what you do. It's a grind, but I think there's a lot to be enjoyed along the way. Even if it's with the community that you develop along the way, the friends you make along the way, or the process itself, I think there's a lot to enjoy for me personally. Yeah, thanks for having me. This was fun. Thanks for the thoughtful questions. ありがとうございます。